Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Glad to see you here. I'm glad you visited my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Rwanda and the lessons that we can learn from Rwanda. Rwanda is a country that has gone through many issues, has dealt with very serious issues, but it has come out now, or it's turning out to be one of the best countries in Africa. So maybe first off, let me just remind you, if you've forgotten, like where Rwanda is. So Rwanda is a small country. It's a small East Central African country, and it shares borders with Tanzania, Burundi, the DRC, and Uganda. So the first thing that maybe comes to the mind of many people when you mention Rwanda is the genocide that the country had in 1994. So during that genocide, close to 1 million people lost their lives. But that problem, I think, is now behind, just because of the ways in which the country and the leadership of the country dealt with the problem. They found a way of dealing with the problems, prosecuting the perpetrators, and they found a way of doing it much faster. And today, Rwanda is among the best countries in Africa. Like if you look at its development, its GDP, for example, has been growing at 7% or more for the last couple of years. So that's one of the best growth rates in the entire world, and it's not slowing down. It's still growing. It's still doing great. And if you have maybe listened to people who have gone to Rwanda, or if you've gone to Rwanda yourself, you see, there are many great things to say about Rwanda as well. In the city of Kigali, for example, there's orderliness. So and it's very clean. It's a very clean city. I've been there myself, and I can give testimony to that. So it's a very, very, very clean city, and things happen in an orderly way. So if you compare it to other cities in Africa, there's a great difference between how Kigali is and how things run in Kigali compared to other African cities. So there's a lot of things that we can learn from Rwanda, the lessons that we can get from Rwanda. So many of them, but I'm only going to focus on one. But maybe I can, before I talk about that, there's one that I've just mentioned, but I will not give it as an example. So it does seem that Rwanda has been looking back to its past, looking back to its culture, the culture of the Banyarwanda people, and it's been drawing from that. It's been taking some of the past traditional cultural practices and modifying them, or kind of modernizing them to use and using them in the present. So you look at the kinds of how they deal with the victims and perpetrators of genocide, for example. They looked back to their culture, and they formed and adapted. They adapted the traditional Gacaca codes, and they used those. And then you also look at there's a program they call the Girinka project. And it's a project that also draws heavily, or that has its roots in the Banyarwanda culture. So this is a program like where the government and community gives a cow to a poor family, gives cows to poor families basically. So helping them, helping lift them out of poverty. So by giving a cow, the intention is like this cow will supply, will give the families milk, and then they'll use the family will also have will also benefit from manure. They'll get manure from this cow to use for their to use on their farms to improve crop production, crop yields. So it's a good program, and this is rooted in the culture, in the Banyarwanda culture. It's something that they used to do. So when this cow, for example, gives birth, I think the person who received it is expected to give one of the calves. So it's expected to give a calf to to another poor person, hopefully a neighbor. And doing that, it's again something that people used to do in the past. But today I want to focus more on what is called Umuganda. So Umuganda is a day that the Rwandan government has set aside for community participation, community cleaning up, or community projects. So I think it happens on the last Saturday of the month. So during this time, I think from morning, maybe from 7 or 8 to about 11, everyone in the country is required to participate in community projects. So it could be maybe doing some cleaning, building maybe a project, building a road, or that. So depending on what a given society or community needs, that's what gets done by everyone in that community. So if the community, say, is in Kigali, the capital city, they might decide that maybe they are doing some cleaning, so they do all that, and it's partly because of that Kigali is very, very clean. So this is again something that is rooted in the cultures, in the Banyarwanda culture. So again, this is something that other African countries can borrow, can learn from Rwanda. When you look at the state in which cities, and maybe not just cities, but everywhere in Africa, thinking of Nairobi, for example, there's a lot of ways in which Nairobi can benefit from community participation, like where everyone, for example, participates or takes part in cleaning up the city. Just setting aside a few hours in it, or even a whole day of the entire month, and offering your services to the community. I think that's a very, very good way of doing it, a very good way of contributing to the betterment of your society, a very good way of helping keep your city clean, a good way of helping keep your community safe. So this is, I think, something that can and should happen. This is not to say that the cities, Nairobi, for example, doesn't have people who are employed to do the cleaning, but in many cases it's not enough. Like, there are not enough people are employed to do side jobs. So when everyone comes together, when everyone chips in, I think that can help a lot. It can improve our societies can improve our cities a great deal. So what the Rwandan government and what the Rwandan people do, I think it's a great thing. It's laudable, it's commendable. And if other African countries can do that, it can help a lot. Yeah, so this again is something that, as I said, is rooted in the cultures, and this is something that other African cultures also used to do, coming together to do a project for the community, or to do something that is good for the entire community. It's something that African cultures, and something that is very common in African cultures. So if we can revive this, I know it's not something that people do on a larger scale, or they don't do maybe on a regular basis. It's not something that people do, but this we can revive. We see it's working perfectly. It's working very well in Rwanda. So why not borrow that and apply it in other places of Africa? Apply it to other cities in Africa. Why not do that? Just one day in a month. And it may not even be one day, and maybe just be like maybe from 8 to 11 or 8 to 12. That is enough to get a lot done. Or if people maybe are occupied or are busy during the morning, you can decide that maybe this is something that we can do in the afternoon, or maybe on a Saturday, say from 2 to 4. Although that can have its own challenges, like this is the time that maybe rain starts in many parts of East Africa, many parts of Africa probably. Yeah, so community service, helping out our societies, helping out our communities. This is something that is this is a part of culture, African cultures, and we can revive this. We can adapt it. We can make changes to it. We can modernize it. But the key thing is to have people participate in community projects. If they do that directly, I think it's a lot more it's beneficial. Brings people together. They get to talk about other issues in the society. Some people might say that maybe contributing money to community projects or to projects that serve the entire society is the way to go. But that is not. It's probably not the best way to do it. It doesn't help build community. It doesn't do that, and it doesn't maybe help people appreciate their own role. It doesn't make them appreciate and even understand what people who clean or who are employed to clean up go through. It doesn't give them that experience. But if you participate, that gives you that experience. You feel that you've done something positive. And when you see someone who is employed doing that job, you know how hard it is to do that or to complete that job. Yeah, so there are many other lessons, as I said, from Rwanda that other African countries can borrow from. How are they doing this? Political leadership, what is happening there? So political, there's a lot of things. I don't want to say like people, other countries borrow the Rwandan political system in total. They can definitely make changes to that. But maybe the key thing is political stability. And then maybe what the Rwandans are doing also with regards to representation, gender representation. I think women are represented in the Rwandan parliament. They actually they are probably the majority. The women are the majority in parliament, and that's something that is positive. African countries need to give women a larger role in governments, in politics. You need that. And then I also didn't mention the fact that Kigali is maybe one of the safest cities in Africa. It's possible to go out and walk around on the street at any time of the day. If that's something that also maybe other African countries can aim to do, that would be great. So I'll stop here. So let me know what you think about this. Do you think Umuganda or participating in community projects is something that can help other African cities and other African communities? What are your thoughts on this? Please comment in. Give your comments in here below, and or if there are any questions that you would like me to react to, please leave them in the comments section. Thanks for listening, and I hope I'll see you here again. Thank you.